What's going on, guys? Brandon, Legendary Life Media. I'm here at Smiths on 7th with Josh and Des. We just shot a couple videos. We're hanging out. And I just wanted to talk to you guys real quick about the journey to wealth. Because for me, there's a lot involved. Like, money's a very hot topic. There's a lot of triggers that come up for people when you talk about money, when you talk about wealth, when you talk about, for the average person, money is a path to power, but there's a lot more to what money actually is, how it works, and what you learn in the process of becoming wealthy and developing wealth or building legacy wealth for yourself. And one of the things that occurred for me was when I was younger, I had a very interesting relationship to money because, very common. A lot of people have common experiences with money, right? Like maybe your parents said something to you like, money doesn't grow on trees, which ironically it actually does because it's 70% cotton, right? So, but maybe there's people who say things to you about money that have landed with you, or maybe you wanted something from the store and your mom just didn't want to give it to you and you threw a fit and there was a lot of emotion around it when you were young. And so money is one of those things that has a lot of emotions, a lot of trauma, a lot of interesting things around it because it's not a tangible thing, although it has a very real impact on your life, and it also controls your ability to use and acquire tangible resources and goods. So I've spent the last 15 years of my life on a journey of understanding money and wealth, becoming wealthy, enduring my own transformation in the experience of becoming wealthy. And what happened was, when I was younger, I was working a pretty average job, thinking to myself, prior to 2008 crash, looking at the real estate market, I was like, how am I ever going to afford a house, right? It didn't seem possible to me at the time, based on I wasn't really making that much money. I was just surviving, kind of aimlessly wandering through life, right? But I always knew I wanted to be rich. There's this concept of values and voids, right? When there's a void in your life, you tend to value it. So for me, my void was money because there was always some contentious arguments about money. My parents, sometimes I would hear them arguing, assumed it was about money. Maybe it wasn't all the time, I don't know. And then having those interactions where I really wanted something and they said, you got to go get a job and work for it. There was this whole thing about kids thinking that they are owed an allowance. They want the parents to give them money just to exist, right? So there's all these emotions and interesting things that we learn about money that are not true, and yet they control so much of our habits today. And so in my journey, at that time when I was working that job before the crash, I had a coworker who gave me a book from Robert Kiyosaki. It was actually Donald Trump and Robert Kiyosaki, and it was called Why We Want You to Be Rich. And I was fascinated by that because I want to be rich. It seemed almost like an impossible pipe dream. And all I would hear about is other people complaining about money or having the attitude that I don't really want a lot of money. And, so what's interesting about that is I found a pathway to learn something about money. And so where I'm at today, understanding the nature of money, what it's used for, business, relationships, and all these things that tie into money, the transformation that I went through, learning all these different aspects about what it means to be a wealthy person, because wealth is not just money. Wealth is your character. Wealth is all the things that money can't buy. But typically what happens is somebody who becomes financially wealthy has done so through the development of all those other areas, right? So development of character, relationships, and business, and all the things that it takes. So I'm going to be releasing a course that has all the fundamentals about not just the mindset and concepts and the conceptual understandings of what you need to know about wealth and money on that journey to becoming wealthy, to becoming a millionaire, a multimillionaire, or a billionaire. I'm not a billionaire, but in my mind, just like you, we all have the capacity to become billionaires, because the people who are billionaires, they got that way from a certain mindset, but they're no different than you or I as human beings. And so we all have the same potential. And the interesting thing about money is that it is tightly ingrained with power. There's a lot of things going on with politics and money and geopolitics and all these things that, it's not quite as simple as one might have you think. But at the end of the day, if you want to be financially free, the real goal, what most people are seeking, which is not just to be a millionaire or to be wealthy, the real goal that people are really seeking but not knowing they're seeking is financial freedom. And financial freedom is very easily defined as your passive income being greater than your expenses. And so there's many ways to become financially free. You can be financially free and not wealthy. So there's a lot to know and there's a lot to learn on this subject. So the course will also get into the technicals of your credit, building high income skills, managing your money, investing, understanding how to manage investments, real estate, stocks, all the different investments that you can do. And what on my journey, I got the book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. I started learning real estate. The market crashed and I had an opportunity, and that's where I started my journey. I just knew I wanted to learn real estate. And so that's a whole different story for another time. But I ended up becoming a real estate investor through that process and learned lesson after lesson about investing, management, wealth, the people you'll meet, and the attitudes and behaviors that are required to actually become wealthy. Because when you reach a certain level of wealth, there is, in my opinion, there are things expected of you. You're expected to be of higher moral character. You're expected to have more social impact. And so all those things combine with this idea of becoming wealthy and the journey to wealth. So starting out from where you're at, there's a lot of things that someone could do to begin that journey. Everyone's thinking about side hustles, investing, all these different things, but you're going to need to understand the fundamentals about money, what money is, where it came from, how it works, and all the things that are in between that and actually declaring yourself as somebody who is financially free and somebody who is ultimately wealthy. And so money is a very fascinating topic for me. I love talking about it, and that's why I'm doing this course. So in the meantime, I hope this has been valuable to you. Stay plugged into Legendary Life Media, all the things that we're teaching there. On that journey to wealth and financial freedom, there's a lot of things that have to be considered. There's a lot of things you have to learn, and don't assume that you know everything, because I guarantee if you're watching this video at this point still, you're interested and there's something that you don't know. And the fact is you need to learn it. And so hit the subscribe button, check out the website, and stay connected to all the different influencers within Legendary Life Media, and follow us on this journey.